We will start tonight with prayer and pledge. I will lead the prayer and the pledge. We want to take a few seconds. We have a council person who is down ill. We wish her speedy recovery. And all of the citizens who are down ill, not just one, everybody. Can we all bow our heads, those that would like to participate? Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight asking you to strengthen our city, strengthen our leaders, strengthen the individuals who have to make decisions. Father, we ask that you touch the citizens, sick and afflicted, anyone who is going through troubles or trying times right now. We ask that you just work with them, heal them, Father. Set them free from the bondage. Father, we also ask that the decisions we make tonight be according to the way that you want them to be made. These things we ask in the mighty name of Jesus, and they all say, Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Young.
Present.
Councilmember Seals is absent. Councilmember Walls.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Present.
Councilmember Ostash.
Present.
Councilmember Braddock.
Present.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Present.
Councilmember Hammond. Present. And Mayor Moore.
Present.
You have one member absent.
Thank you. Good evening again. We'd like to welcome you to our city council meeting. This council meeting is being recorded. We ask that we have no glowing, obnoxious behavior. This is a public meeting. I'm also asking that all council people, persons, please put your phones on silent, as well as your tablets. Audience, I can just ask you that I need a new phone, so let it ring, and I'm claiming it tonight. Okay. Next, do we have any announcements, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mayor, the city's convenience station will be open this Saturday from 8 a.m. until noon. City residents may utilize the station to drop off miscellaneous or bulky items for disposal. We have a proclamation this evening. It's recognizing February 2026 as Black History Month.
We have Councilwoman Wiggins who will be reading this proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. City of Saginaw Proclamation. Whereas Black History Month was created by Carter G. Woodson in 1926 to highlight the vast endeavors and accomplishments of African Americans that have impacted our nation's history and identity. And whereas in this national celebration, we applaud the transformational contributions of the African American community, which has overcome tremendous adversity to build lasting change for generations to come. And whereas the City of Saginaw is proud to honor the African Americans who have helped to shape and transform our city, including lumber baron William Atwood, physician Dr. Archer A. Plater, former Mayor Henry G. Marsh, educator Reuben Daniels, former UAW President and Airport Commissioner Harry Brown, and countless others whose contributions are woven into the fabric of our city. And whereas in our city's recognition of Black History Month, we reflect on the great strides that we have made to ensure freedom for all people, regardless of race, color, creed, in the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. And we recognize that our work must continue. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Brenda F. Moore, Mayor of the City of Saginaw, do hereby proclaim February 2026 as Black History Month in the City of Saginaw, and encourage all residents to honor Black history and culture in our city and continue the efforts to create a world that is more just, peaceful, and prosperous for all. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Saginaw to be affixed this 9th day of February in the year of our Lord, 2026. Brenda F. Moore, Mayor. Council members Priscilla Garcia, Mayor Pro Tem, Michael D. Balls, Eric D. Braddock Sr., Carly Rose Hammond, Bill Ostash, Jacinta Seals, Heidi Wiggins, and Tobias Young. Timothy Morales, City Manager.
We all as council persons, we will accept this, and it will be in our archives. Madam Clerk.
Mayor, on to public hearings.
The purpose of a public hearing is for the public to address the council as a whole and for council to hear comments from the speaker regarding a specific action being requested. Speakers are limited to their remarks to the subject of the public hearing. The main speaker or the designated speaker or the representative will have 10 minutes. Any member who speaks afterwards have 3. This is if you're for it or against it. There will be no, this is not a question and answer period for the council, so we won't be answering you back, okay? Madam Clerk.
The topic of the public hearing is regarding the request to amend the Brownfield Plan to include the former Walgreens redevelopment project located at 409 West Genesee Avenue.
Is there anyone who would like to speak to this subject?
Good evening, Mayor Moore, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, council members, and city manager. My name is Grace Smith. I'm with Saginaw Future, and I'm here to speak in support of the 409 West Genesee Brownfield project. The Brownfield project marks the beginning of a significant reinvestment in the Saginaw Medical Diamond. The project is the redevelopment of the vacant former Walgreens site into a modern full-service convenience station. The previous 14,782 square foot structure was demolished and will be replaced by a newly constructed 4,853 square foot 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven will be a convenience store and gas station with 6 fuel islands and represents an estimated private investment of $7.35 million. It will return an underutilized site at a key intersection and corridor into productive use. Unlike a traditional gas station, this facility is designed to function as an expanded convenience store retail location. In addition to fuel services, the store will offer a broader selection of foods, hot and cold beverages, grab-and-go meals, and other care items. These offerings are intended to serve not only drivers, but also employees working long or non-traditional shifts, patients and visitors visiting the nearby medical facilities, and residents and workers traveling throughout the district. As an investment and activity continue to grow within the Medical Diamond, access to convenient and time-efficient services becomes increasingly important. This project helps meet those everyday needs while improving the physical environment, strengthening the commercial infrastructure, as well as the physical environment. This redevelopment is about far more than a single building. It represents one of the many reinvestment opportunities in the district, and it helps lay the groundwork for increased private investment, continued development, and the long-term vitality of this important area of the city. Thank you for your consideration and continued support for economic development in our community.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else who would like to speak to this subject? Do we have anyone else who would like to speak to this subject? Last and final time, do we have anyone else who'd like to speak to this subject? I need a motion to close this public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved in support. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
On to public input.
The purpose of public input is, again, for you to address the council. This is not a question or answer period. You have 3 minutes. Within those 3 minutes, please try to get all of your information in. Please try to get it all in 3 minutes. Again, no booing, clapping, or obnoxious behavior, please. Madam Clerk.
Our first speaker is Anne Marie Betkoski Sullivan.
Hi, good evening. My name is Anne Marie Betkoski Sullivan. I am the Executive Director for Positive Results Downtown Saginaw, Pride in Saginaw. I took over last March for Jeannie Conger, who was in that position for 30 years, and I thought it was about time for me to come and introduce myself to you guys, let you know who I am, and all the great things that we're doing, and also really here to invite you to our annual meeting. You all have this flyer with you. Our annual meeting is March 12th at the Dow Event Center inside the Jolt Celebration Club. We will have 2 guest speakers. One of them is in this room. Cassie Zimmerman will be speaking, as well as George Bradford, who is the owner of the Michigan Arsenal. They will be speaking on the great things that are happening here in downtown Saginaw, along with George will be talking about why he chose Saginaw, Michigan as the home for the Michigan Arsenal. He could have chose anywhere in the state, but he chose our hometown of Saginaw. So our theme this year, you'll be seeing a lot of We Love Saginaw. It's going to be a fun event that starts at 11:30, and you're all invited. So please, I hope you can attend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Melanie Velasco. I don't see Melanie. On to Hurley Coleman III.
Well, good evening to our council, to our city manager and entire staff, and to those who are in the room and join us online. I wanted to lead off with my condolences to Councilman Ostash. I love you, man, and we're praying for you. You're always in my thoughts and prayers, and to your entire family. I wanted to just come before you to give a couple of updates on what's happening at CAC. If you don't know, my name is Hurley. I'm the executive director at the agency. And we are preparing to open up the food pantry. This is something that we've been working on for quite a while, but the time has come for us to open it up. March 2026, the pantry will be open. It is an extension of the work that we do with our TFAP program, which is temporary emergency food assistance. And also those funds that we use along with other grants are going to help us to stock the pantry with non-perishable items, with baby products, with toiletries and things that we may need. And as the agency is open during the day, so will the pantry be open. So we're looking forward to that. I also would like to invite the community out to a new program called Hook a Kid on Golf. This is a new youth development program that we've been trying to get up and running, but we will have an informational session on the 17th of February, which is next Tuesday. This is an opportunity for our kids to learn the game of golf. Also, with the game of golf comes life skills, comes things that you can take outside of the course that you can apply. So this is for our elementary age kids all the way up into high school. And there will be sessions and looking for volunteers. So if you'd like to volunteer, visit our Facebook page and you'll click the link to sign up. And then on the following Tuesday, the 24th, will be our community needs assessment review. Every 3 years, we have to do a needs assessment on the county and the things that are taking place, whether there's statistics, demographics. This information will be discussed with you all on Tuesday, the 24th at 5:30. This will take place at the agency, and the information is on our Facebook page. The needs assessment will go live on the 24th, so you will be able to go to www.saginawcac.org to get the needs assessment, and you can use that for your use to learn about what's happening. So please use it and use the data as it's for you all. And we want to invite everybody out to Walk for Warmth. That is Saturday, March the 7th. Walk for Warmth is a program that we give out funds to families that do not qualify for services and during the heating season. So if a family is overqualified, they can still apply, but we need funding to help us do that because it's not directly attached to a program. And finally, water safety program for lead services. So if you are on Medicaid, if you currently have Medicaid, you can qualify to get your kitchen sink replaced. So come see us at CAC. We will do our best to take care of you. Blessings to you all.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Deborah Malconian.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
RSC stands for Restore Saginaw Coalition. This is a group that was formed to eliminate the current tax cap. This past April, the committee hosted a media conference announcing the purpose of seeking a repeal of the tax cap. At that time, they asked the City Council to formally adopt during the January 26th a resolution to place on the November 3rd ballot to repeal of those portions of Amendment 16 to the city charter that limits the amount of levy and yield from the property taxes that may be assessed in any given year. Please recognize you should all have a copy of that letter that Mr. Clark sent to every council member as well as to the city manager. In addition, there is a timeline that was developed earlier to be included as an attachment to this letter. To assist the council in understanding the urgency of acting now in order to meet the statutory requirements to get this issue on the ballot in November 26th. The list of services that the city has lost will be outlined by our next two speakers. Please note that Saginaw is the only county that has a tax cap. The tax cap has been on the ballot, or was on the ballot in 1983, 88, 2000, 2002, 7, and 9, and it failed each time. Our committee is more than willing to work with the city of Saginaw to educate its residents. In conclusion, there are two tax caps, both established in 1979. This imposes a millage cap of 7.5 mils, and the other imposes a dollar limit on the amount of property tax the city is able to collect. Again, prior to 1979, the city of Saginaw was able to levy 10 mills, $10,000 per $1,000 of taxable property value. In 1979, the city charter was amended to reduce the millage rate from 10 to 7.5, known as the rate cap, and the dollar amount was also limited to the actual amount, 7.5 mils, yielded in 1979, known as the dollar cap, with no adjustments for inflation. Just think about what your dollar covers now in today's world, and think about what your dollar covers in 1979. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Estelle Hackus.
Right. Good evening, and thank you for the. I can adjust it. Thank you. Perfect. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Estelle, and I serve as the Workforce Development Coordinator at First Ward Community Center. Many of you already know about the center. I'm here to share a few upcoming opportunities to support employment and economic growth here. On March 7th, 2026, from 12 to 2 p.m., First Ward will be hosting a job fair with many local employers in attendance. This event is open to the public and designed to connect residents directly with job opportunities in our community. More specifically, First Ward's Best Summer Youth Employment Program will officially go live in their applications. This program supports youth ages 16 to 19, paid summer job opportunity in areas such as environmental work, maintenance, state park work, and recreation. So if you know anyone in this age group in Saginaw, we would love for them to apply. All we're asking is help spreading the word about our job fair on Saturday, March 7th, and your support will make a real difference. And lastly, we would like to mention our bowling fundraiser on March 14th at Crooked Creek, and we would love for you to attend. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Chris Pryor.
Good evening to our mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, to city manager and attorney. My name is Chris Pryor. I serve as the pastor of Victorious Believers Ministries. I want to continue to thank you all for your hard work, dedication to move our city forward. I know our mayor always says it's a new season, it's a new day, and we continue to receive that, Mayor, so keep speaking it. And I know people hear it all the time, but it is important for us to accept the great things that will continue to happen in our city. I have risen today to share with you about the Bishop Marvin C. Pryor Impact Center. It is a new community center that will help encourage our children in reading and math. And so I'm excited. We've talked about it for the last year and a half to 2 years. It is about 3.7 million as time continues to go on. Prices continue to increase. We started at about 3.2 million. We were fortunate to receive 1.3 million from the Leo Fund from Victorious Community Development. So I want to separate not our church, but our other nonprofit. And so we're grateful to make sure that we allocate these funds so that in the former Trinity Lutheran building, many people know that 346 9th Street, we're going to restore that building. And so we're extremely excited about some of the things, not only with Leo, but our partnership with our police department, our chief, Chief Ruth, and all the work that we continue to do. And so I brought some brochures to give you. Some of you were able to be at our Hard Hat tour in May, but it's not a place where we'll just shoot hoops. You can go into our church gymnasium and do that. It'll be a place where our children will learn the latest technology in AI. They'll be able to code. They'll be able to have robotics so that they're able to expand and to grow. And so we're extremely excited on that second level. Children will be able to do homework and whatever needed. We'll hire educators. So people who were teachers or former teachers who would like to help us in regards to making a difference in the lives of our children. So we're extremely excited about this new edifice that we'll restore. Our goal is to do an addition initially, but I brought brochures because it'll be a state-of-the-art facility that'll be right in the heart of Saginaw, right off Jane Street. And as we'll continue to redevelop, repurpose that community, we're excited. We believe it'll be a catalyst for continued growth, not only down the corridor of what we see taking place and manifesting on Washington, but we'll start to continue to see it grow on the east side and the south side of this great city. So we're excited about this. There's some other efforts that we have, and I'll pass out some information for each of you about the nonviolence, about how we're partnering within our community, and also bringing other agency and evidence-based models to help us continue to resolve and be the great city that we are. Thank you for this time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Thomas Fancher.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. I rise to address the Council regarding a request by the Restore Saginaw Group to put on the ballot the repeal of the tax caps in this city. I myself have been a resident here for about 40 years, a little more, taxpayer, homeowner, sent our son here, employed in the city. I restrict my comments now not to the effect of the tax caps or the possible benefits of the restoration, but just to two topics. One is what other cities have done this and what has been the result, and the actual dollar amount that would a taxpayer see if these tax caps were lifted, because I think that's frankly what the citizens and the taxpayers would want to hear. Despite a lot of research, there have been no other cities with this $1 tax cap that is not adjusted for inflation. It's of course hard to prove a negative. Someone may come up with one, but in the last 17 years since the last attempt to repeal this, no other cities have a tax cap of dollar amount without inflation. And that kind of tells us something, because if it were such a good idea, someone else would have done it. And frankly, being the only city in the whole country with this cap is a little bit embarrassing. Let me turn to the other topic. What does it actually mean if we leave these tax caps off and potentially raise the cap and raise the rate? Well, it depends on the value of your house. According to 2025 data, average taxable value of a house in Saginaw is about $22,000, reflecting a fair market value of about $45,000 to $50,000. If we limited or raised merely the dollar cap, what would it do? The tax rate could go up from 6.3365 to 7.383 pursuant to the Headley Amendment. What does that mean? $23.06 for a year. That's the raise in an average tax for a house, $23.06. If it went up to the full 7.5 mils would be $25.63 per year. If both caps were eliminated and there was a Hadley override, so we could rise to 10 mils, and there's no guarantee that the council would actually impose 10 mils. They could put out anything less than that if they wanted to. But at the very maximum, it would be $80.69 for a year. Those are the numbers I wanted to get out. Other people can speak more at length and eloquently about the need for this, what we've lost, and what we might gain. I yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Salim Manan.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to address this body. I'd like to first of all give thanks to the clerk for helping to facilitate these meetings. They don't get enough recognition, but they do a good job there, and I just want to make sure I get that out. And I also want to say that I'm Salim, and I've been here since 1970. I've raised 8 children in this community. They all went to the public schools, and they've done well. I had 13 grandchildren, and I had 3 great-grandchildren in the city. My last daughter is in her last year at Eastern University. She went to SASA, graduated with honors, and she'll be doing good. We've benefited so much from this city. That's why I'm standing here today. When this thing was introduced, and I'm representing Restore Committee, and I'm working with a great group of people who are unselfish, who are looking to remove this burden that has been put on our city unjustly. And I fought this when it was first introduced. I was here when they introduced it, and I saw that it was not right. And to show you that it's corrupt, possibly the same people who introduced it the other 8 times to repeal it were probably the same people that put it in place, but they thought it was time to move it, but they didn't inform the people of Saginaw what it really means. This group had, in the summer, we had a meeting right here, and we talked about it. We had people come in. We also had Amos O'Neill. I want to give him credit, who was a member on this body, who introduced a bill, a legislation, to remove this cap. And you know the flag that he took for that? But he was willing to do it because he knew the impact that it has on this city. And he stuck his neck out to introduce. And what's so beautiful about what he did was if he can get them to look at it, because the conservatives, the Republicans, they fighting one another, if he can get them to look at it to help release our city from this, we can move forward. So that's why he did it. And he took the flak for that. And we need to stand by him. But he told me, say, Salim, after people started talking to me and I tell them what the impact of what this cap did and how they tricked us, then he said, Salim, you need to inform the people because the people don't know. They have no idea. They think all you was doing was to raise the tax. They don't know that this was put on us unjustly to burden us. So this group that I work with, they're some great people. They're my neighbors, my friends. I've been working with them. And first and foremost, the thing that it impacted was our children. Saginaw had a history for activity for their children all over the city. And that's the first thing that went was the program for our children. And now what? We have the people come from outside who have to donate to take care of problems or programs that we had. They have to come from outside to come into our city and give money and donate. When we did it, when we used to do it, now we can't afford to do it. Is that fair? My time is up. You didn't say nothing.
Thank you, sir.
And I got a new friend.
I'll be your best friend. Oh, thank you. I need more friends.
Our final speaker is Melanie Velasco.
Well, you know what my Yahoo is all about. I got a new friend. I'm so happy. Okay, thank you. Most beautiful people. You know what my Biff is all about? I want little homes. We got people wandering around and they're blowing their Social Security checks and the rest is whatever, all that money they get. You know what they're blowing it on? Drugs, drinking. And then at the end of the month or, you know, not even the first 2 weeks, it's gone. And the rent wasn't paid, no bills have been paid, and they're walking the streets. Our rescue mission is full. And every other place that wants to bring in these homeless people that are broken, need mental help, counseling, and some TLC. Someone who really cares besides that, okay? Somebody who really cares. We got people out there gonna die because of this cold. You don't see it. You don't get the understanding. You don't walk these streets. By the way, I walked this way and the path's not shoveled. I almost fell 3 times. If I break my ankle, guess who I'm gonna come for? The city. But you're broke. You're broke. You ain't got a dime. If I break my ankle, it's all on my own insurance, which I have good insurance. I worked. I'm retired from the healthcare, and I do have excellent insurance. You know what? Too many people in this world, they judge people by their cover. Do not judge me. Take that scenario out your freaking head, because I'm not your everyday cookie. I walk and I stay healthy. I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, and I've never smoked marijuana in all my life. Can I say that? Another thing I got a bit with, the Jehovah's Witness Church. Now, I know I shouldn't go there, but they disfellowship my sister, and she's hurting inside because they don't want to accept her. Guess what? 70 times 70, God forgives. My sister's innocent now. You got to let her come back. It's a God. You don't own one God. God is everywhere. Can I get an amen? He's in every church and everybody who believes in him. You got to go through the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost to get to God Almighty. I was baptized Catholic, baptized Baptist, and I was going to a Seventh-day Adventist church, okay? Now I'm going Baptist. It's all right, it's cool. There's some lovely sweet people in that lovely church. Can I get an amen? And I'm going to keep going. And if nobody don't like my singing, no one don't like my talk, they don't like my walk, guess what? My mama and daddy didn't bring me in this world for you all to like me. I got the one and only to like me, love me, and take care of me. God Almighty. And he knows me by my name, and he loves all y'all the same. Now, can I get another amen? We need little homes. We need people. We need accountability for Social Security's money. Can I get an amen? Goodbye. You all have a lovely day. I'm sorry I'm late.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking to me.
No, I was gonna let you
On
talk.
to remarks of council.
Council members, you have 3 minutes also to speak. We will start tonight with Councilwoman Hammond. I'm sorry. Hammond. I said it right.
Thank you. So thank you all for coming to your Saginaw City Council meeting. First, I'd like to address some of the comments made. Well, actually, no, first, thank you so much, Mr. Coleman, for coming and reminding about these lovely events, the lovely handout. I will do everything I can to attend the meeting that's coming later this month. That's going to be great information. I appreciate it. Second, to address the folks coming about the tax cap, I've read your letter. The information that I've been given is that the timing for adoption from the council, if the council were to adopt, to vote to get something to then go on the ballot, would have to be sometime in the summer. If we have conflicting information on that, I'm planning on reaching out and attending one of your meetings in the future, so we can talk about that a little bit more. So I'm very, very interested. Yes, if that, I think the timing, if that's an issue, what we have conflicting information, we'll just make sure and share information we have. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, since we had our strategic planning session was at the end of January, and then, so it's been, about a month since our last regular meeting. I attended Saginaw CAP's State of the Black Community. It was a very good meeting. I was talking a lot about public health. And something very interesting came up because, as I'm sure a lot of my fellow council people understand, there are a lot of residents that are deeply concerned. Hang on just a second. You're good. All right, I got you. Thank you. There's been a lot of concerns about the accessibility on Ojibwe Island. I believe that it was, just personally, I believe it was wrong for that park to be closed, the barriers to be put up. I would like to see 2026 as the year that that is reopened. I would like to see the barriers removed. There were very great arguments put out by the folks at that meeting. And the top one being that people see it as a threat to their public health and their community resources to have a park removed from their access. And I agree. I think there are some legitimate safety concerns. I think we were going to hear a presentation or some information about some committees that was looking into the issue, but I think it's time. I think it's time. I think that the park has been closed for too long. I think that whoever we need to partner with, whatever needs to get done, we need to do it in a timely fashion so we can get people back to enjoy their park. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Young.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. And I want to first speak on the development meeting that we had, the strategic meeting. It was very informative. It was, I guess, from the development side, sometimes you can't release the information in a timely manner because, you know, it's kind of fluent when you have a lot of information that the developers need as far as groundbreaking and services and different things. So, you know, I understood, you know, they're like kind of slowly releasing information. I understood that, you know, as I attended the meeting. And then I also understand, you know, too, from the public side of wanting that information when you have the private sector and you're combining with public dollars and whatnot, you want to have some information too. So I can understand how things were done on both sides. So that meeting kind of answered a lot of questions and it was very helpful. Secondly, if some of you can remember, I held a local developers meeting at my banquet hall in December, and I had a lot of local developers, landlords came out, and city staff came out, Housing Commission, Scenic, and it was a good session there. And you can see a lot of development and ideas were taking place, so I kind of wanted to give an update on that. So when the Housing Commission was there, they spoke about the home ownership program that they have through Section 8. You know, Section 8 recipients, they have funding to purchase the home and escrow it, you know, from the landlord. And, you know, when I spoke with them, they said that programs like that, if you don't use them, you lose the funding. So I kind of went an offshoot. I said, that's something I should get behind that'll help the community, especially with me, you know, being an advocate of home ownership. So I kind of leveraged my network of landlords. You know, me being a landlord, I'm able to talk to and spread the word throughout the community in a way that maybe other staff or council members could not. So with that network of landlords, I spread it through them. And right now we're up to a dozen homes that are being purchased with that program. And now it's happening again because the word is spreading again. So I'm hoping that that'll have like a snowball effect, because also when you have those new homeowners that are coming off of Section 8 being new homeowners in our community, it's going to help our neighborhoods, encourage those families, stabilize those households and children, and then that word will spread, and then that's maybe new families that can get help and begin with Section 8. So I think something like that will help our community. And, you know, there's a bunch of different ways to help the community, and that's what I've been pouring my information into. So I just wanted to update you guys on that progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Ball.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have a lot to say today, but I'd like to thank the people that came out and spoke for bringing excellent information here to the City Council that we can spread out to the people that we know. You know, it's I don't know if it's a shame or what, but, you know, to have these people outside our meeting doing what they're doing, you know, it seems like somebody's driving these people, and I would like to say that the forces that are driving them to do what they're doing is not good. You know, we have a lot of things going on in the city of Saginaw that's not necessarily healthy. I've been dealing with a family lately who has some alcohol and drug abuse issues in their family. And to see the effects of the kids is terrible. You know, when you have kids that's honor students. A young girl, 14 years old, said that she got all A's, and she wanted to know what was these letters behind some of her grades. She said it was AP on the back of them. I said, I think those were students with advanced classes or something like that. I said, and I did some research and kind of find out she get college credit for her classes, and she's in the 9th grade. But if you went in her household, you wouldn't believe it. As a matter of fact, we called the department, whatever department that handles unfit homes and stuff like that, CPS. We called them today because we scared that we may lose these kids. You know, and I couldn't find out something. Her little brother's in the 7th grade, smoking marijuana, getting kicked off the bus. The mentoring program that I participate with, the guy called me and asked me would I take him to school. So now I'm getting out to bed early in the morning, waking my wife up. So it's a domino effect of what happened in our community. You know, the CAC would have to supply these people food because things are not going on. Somebody else may have another effect. My wife was affected because I'm waking her up early in the morning, and that's disturbing her sleep, and this goes on and on and on. But I said that to say that we need to continue to mentor these kids every opportunity we get, because if we don't, society as a whole is going to keep on spiraling down. You know, so I'm just pleading to our community, everybody can chip in and help a kid out that you know don't have a parent at home that can help them out. And I tell you, it will multiply the effect of the goodness to come back to our community. You know, it hurts, but I thank God for allowing me to be able to be in the gap to help those kids out. So, you know, Madam Mayor, I just want to continue to do God's work and hope that I can get some people to help me out. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, we have Councilman Ostash.
Thanks, Mayor. Welcome, everybody, tonight. And so I know Anne Marie left with Pride. I planned to be to that event for downtown Saginaw Pride, but I'm going to be in the air coming back to the city. But Melanie, I want to talk to you about the tiny homes a little bit. So we've made some progress. So there is something that will be coming to the council pretty soon. Be different zones of the city where that can be a possibility for developers. Now, the city's not going to build them, so we need people to come in, but it gives them the opportunity now with some structure. So your voice has been heard over all this time. It just took some time to get through. Also, Mr. Coleman, thank you for your condolences. It's always nice to see everything that the CAC is doing. I really seriously, when things do slow down for me a little bit now after Kevin's passing, I really need to get out there and see some of the renovations that you've done. And also, talked about the food pantry. There's another one that just opened up here on Hamilton Street. It's called Cornerstone. So there is definitely a need for what you're doing in the city, so thank you. And Estelle, thanks for coming and talking about the First Ward Job Fair. I was going to mention that. I was going to put something on my Facebook page, so thank you for putting that out there for everybody tonight. And then also for the folks that are talking about the tax cap, I hear you. I've been to some of your meetings right from the inception when you were starting. And I think that you have done a great job. You have a logo. You're trying to educate people on actually how it works, and I was part of that, providing that information to you. I think the dollar figure that was gave out here tonight is actually from my spreadsheet. And if you think about it, you mentioned if the home is a $22,000 taxable value, that's about a $44,000 market value. And if you break it down per month, it's $2.13. And then if you want to double that to a home that's worth $80,000, you can do the math, it's like $4. So everybody wants to know, even the bottom line is, well, how is it going to affect me? And so that's really going to be the part of the conversation, because that's the question I keep getting asked too, especially our seniors that are in the city, because there are a lot of people are living on fixed income. And I kind of know half of that because Kevin was already in retirement. So thank you for coming out and talking to us on that. And then also, Councilwoman Hammond, thanks for bringing up Ojibwe. There is some movement, and we talked about it last year. City staff, they were kind of knee-deep in construction projects and that, but we were able to put together some more information going forward. We're trying to get a meeting together right now, and then there could be even like planned projects that are going on with the renovation of the island, but then also projected projects and in ways we could open the island safely, and that includes so cars cannot drive through the grass. So there was an incident that did happen in the past where somebody decided they couldn't wait. They drove across the grass and a child was killed. So we are taking everything into consideration as we look to reopening the park. That's it. That's all I got.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Braddock.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Hello, everyone that attended and spoke today. Just like to thank y'all for coming. I would say that with the tiny homes, I got the opportunity to see some in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, and Orlando, and I've seen how useful it was in the communities, how affordable, and the population that was taking advantage of it. It seemed like it would be useful, especially with the homeless population, and to make housing affordable. And also for some of our homeless vets and some of our veterans with mental health issues. Also talking about the tax cap, yes, I believe we are in support of and lifting the tax cap. I do remember a time when I was a kid that we had a lot of things going on as a child, lunch programs, and we're trying to keep those things going into these days, and everybody's being creative and making these things happen around the city. And we see the efforts from CAC, BCD, HELP, and First Ward, and the neighborhood housing. So we see these efforts throughout our community, throughout everybody, try to keep these type of things to continue going. The things that we had when we was a child, we try to bring those things back. I will also say, as far as VCD has a boxing, Victoria's Community Development has a boxing event for the youth, February 27th from 4 to 6, called Guns Down, Hands Up. They just encourage to have different problem solving besides using guns to try to deter the gun violence in our city. I also had the opportunity to be at the strategic planning meeting. I really was really inspired by what I see how Saginaw is moving forward. I think it's important to see that our next generation being prepared and connected to the economic development. It's going to take our nonprofit organizations, our schools, our workforce programs, neighborhood groups, and our faith institutions to ensure our young people and our working families are not left watching opportunities pass them by. Our new developments can create pathways to employment and entrepreneurship. And so I'm like on the same lines of Mr. Balls here as far as our youth, our generations, not leaving them behind. I have an opportunity to work and mentor some young men and women. And so you'll be amazed by some of the challenges and some of the, some of the factors that, barriers that they have to endure to try to even just get a job, and to separate themselves from what they had dealt with growing up and their traumas and all that. So let's just continue to move Saginaw forward, and let's make sure that this next generation, that we pass things down properly to this next generation. And that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Wiggins.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to all of the speakers and all of the citizens that have attended tonight's meeting and are watching online. I appreciate your input. Thank you for, bringing up the tax cap. It is an important issue for our city, and the work that the Restore Saginaw group is doing is an integral part of that. Education, how is this going to affect me? Basic questions that our citizens need answers to. That is a key element to getting the tax cap lifted, and just showing the benefits of how this can help our city. So I appreciate the work that you're doing there. Pastor Pryor, the Impact Center, I'm excited about that, how it's going to affect a very important part of the city for me, the east and the south side of Saginaw. So I'm excited about the work and would love to see more about that. So thank you for coming and telling us about that. The strategic planning meeting that we had as a city was very informative, and I appreciate all the work that the staff put into that. I'm glad it fell together the way it did, for having all of the people that are involved in the different projects that are going to be a part of the Medical Diamond, giving specific information and timelines and just the progress of what's happening there. So that information is what we want to be able to give to our citizens, so that there is transparency, so that there is more knowledge, so that we're all in the loop, and we can continue to be in that loop. Just excited about that. Just one announcement. I know the Eastside Soup Kitchen, I believe I want to say the 16th, the 16th of February, it's a Monday. They're having a food giveaway. It's a drive-through food giveaway, and it's going to be sponsored at the Eastside Super Kitchen and Hidden Harvest and a couple other partners. That's going to be on Genesee. It starts at 9 a.m., so if anybody can benefit from that. Again, February 16th, beginning at 9 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Good evening, concerned citizens of the community. Thank you for coming on this nice cold evening to share your thoughts and concerns with us. It's always nice to hear from the public what's going on in our community because we can't be everywhere. I do want to say thanks for Ann for coming to talk about Pride, but she missed out on one of her good events that is taking place this Saturday, Valentine's at 1 p.m., which is the 12th annual Outhouse Races. And they're going to have tents out there and stuff, so it's going to be a really nice event. If you're in the area, come check it out. They're doing really great things at Hoyt Park. So if you get the opportunity, I want to say thanks to Mr. Coleman for coming and talking about the great things at TEC. Once again, was my old stomping grounds. So I would like to come and see the pantry when it's open. I know he showed me some of the behind the scenes as it was getting put together. So it's always nice to go back to one of my first homes where I started off my behind the scenes work in the community. Also for all the tax cap people, thank you. I think our biggest thing is going to be the education and marketing, especially to the younger people. Like I wasn't born in the 70s, but the more I keep hearing about it and how important it is, and it's really affecting our community from us going forward. I wish the gas prices were like they were in the 70s and they are now, but they're not. And I think just showing some examples like that, I know they say as you get older that you're more a visual learner, so maybe if you could put some comparisons like that. I know when I started driving at 16, gas was like 99 cents, now it's like $3.19. So just showing those realistic things that's happened within that time frame could be some good examples, possibly for the marketing. Just like I said, that's my background, and my master's is the marketing component, and I feel that you might be able to catch more of the voters' attention by showing something like that. So that's just some input of mine that I think that might be helpful for trying to get this passed this time. I'm not sure why it hasn't been passed prior, because it's really hurting our economy. And so thanks for coming and bringing that good information and stuff to us. Also, Mr. Pryor, great to see the new Youth Development Center going up. I know back in the day they had the youth Boys and Girls Club things at the different schools and things like that, after school programs, and I know a lot of the kids, today we had a city council at the fire department, and they said they're looking for fun things to do, so we'll send them your way. So yeah, all the great things. And then also real quick, I'm going to fill in since my councilman didn't have too much to say, but he used all his 3 minutes. HELP is having an inaugural Community Violence Intervention Conference coming up Saturday, February 21st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and lunch is provided. It's going to be at Thompson Middle School on Court Street. And if you know anybody, send them. They're also going to have keynote speaker, Big B Harris. So make sure if you know anybody, you can probably find this on their page as well, to come on out, and it's for the youth. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn. It's repetitious, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I'd like to thank all of the public speakers who spoke today. For my tax cap people, we are trying to get a meeting together so that we can begin to educate. We all want to be saying the same thing. We don't want to go in two different directions. So there is a meeting that we're trying to get scheduled as soon as our House Representative O'Neill, I'm working with him right now so that we can get it on the books so that we can begin to start talking. This week has been a cold week. There have been a lot of older people that we needed to check on. Did you do it? That's my question. Did you do it? Every day, if we would just reach out and touch and help somebody every day, can you imagine how this city would be? It would be a loving city. You know what? Saginaw got heart. I was at a meeting today with Pastor Pryor and some more people, and we had the opportunity to hear. And I'm going to keep saying it, Because I said to him, I said, you still saying this a new season, this a new day? And he started laughing. He told me if it wasn't broke, don't fix it. And the more you say it, the more people get to it. On Thursday, I will be doing my 6th State of the City, State of the County address at the Civic Center. I really think if you can't make it, tune in, because they're gonna have it live streamed. Not only that, you get a chance to see. My speech will be on the webpage. I think they're mailing it out tomorrow. Vicky's somewhere in here. And it will be posted. So anybody that knows me know that I'm gonna pray that I can stick to the schedule. However, I'm really excited about the things that we accomplished in 2025. Saginaw is poised for a comeback, and I've been saying that. I've been saying, let's walk into the season. When we had our strategic plan, for all of the naysayers who thought this was not going to happen, let me just say this to you. Nah. It's about to happen. That is what keeps Saginaw on its toes, because we got heart. The one thing I love about the city is we are not quitters. Failure is not an option. Madam Clerk.
On to reports from the manager.
Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I'm glad you mentioned it. I was waiting for someone to bring it up, but the 2026 State of the City and State of the County is this Thursday, February 12th, 7:30 a.m. at the Dow Event Center. We'll see Mayor Moore give her update, and County Board Chair Jack Taney as well. The City Hall project is still ongoing, as most of you are aware. Final phase of the project is going to be the elevator. So right now, the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, controls, and security contractors are wrapping up rough-in work on the 2nd floor. Finished work like drywall, painting, and ceiling tiles should start at the end of February and is expected to wrap up in April, with the elevator phase following that. So we'll likely wait until the elevator is complete to start having city council meetings back at City Hall, so we don't have any access issues for public meetings. And the Saginaw Youth Council meeting, I think it was our 3rd meeting, was today. So I want to thank the council members for coming to the meeting, and also thank the Saginaw Fire Department for hosting today's meeting, and thank the Fire Department, the Police Department, and Inspections Division for taking time to give presentations to the students. And I was also glad to see that the Fire Department highlighted the fire education program, which is something that the city started working on with the school district. It's probably been at least 5 years now, I think. But it's a great program at the Saginaw Career Complex. Our firefighters participate in that teaching along with the Saginaw School, our Career Complex staff. And when you graduate from that program, you come out with a fire certified. So you can be a firefighter, and the student or the actual firefighter who was giving the demonstrations today with some of the equipment is a graduate of that program. So graduated and got hired as a Saginaw firefighter at the age of 18. So it's a great opportunity they have there at the school. So hopefully we'll have more students taking advantage of that. And we've had a lot of representatives coming to the city. I recently met with representatives from Governor Whitmer's office, as well as Senator Peters' office and Senator Slotkin's office. And they're all interested in upcoming city projects and potential ways that they can assist the city in particularly securing grants or other funding opportunities. So we did discuss a number of key issues, including road funding, public safety, Saginaw River projects, housing, substance abuse treatment, and capital needs related to water and sewer infrastructure. So a lot of you are familiar with the congressionally directed spending programs. Those are, they had indicated that the #1 request that they got last time was water and sewer. It's so, I think, overwhelming for them that it's tough to get through them all. But they indicated that if there are projects that were previously submitted and unfunded, that might be something that could gain some traction in getting funding. And they also indicated that if there is additional funding available, that will help with some of this too. So say if we have a project in the city that we're working on that we're funding partially and we need additional funds to get over the edge to get that project done, that's something that could really help. So we'll keep looking at that and keep you updated on what we'll be submitting. I know we typically do submit some things, and they did mention one of the water projects, so I'll get with our staff here, that's I think been submitted 3 or 4 times already and hasn't ever been funded, so I'll get with Mike Grenier on that. Strategic planning session that we did have. We heard updates from MDOT along with several organizations planning to build in the medical diamond, but we didn't have our own update there for our project, which is the infrastructure and the park planning, a riverfront park project. So we're working with Phil Carwat and Scape to present here at our next city council meeting, which is February 23rd. So we're planning to do that. Hopefully we can get it scheduled and get those individuals here. Yeah, the Saginaw Police Department did release the 2026 Saginaw Police Department Officer of the Year. It's Officer Irvin Ward, and the Professional Staff Member of the Year is Raynon Schneider. Officer Ward is a highly decorated officer who has served as a canine and patrol officer and is known for his dedication, proactive patrol, and strong teamwork. He has played a key role in major cases, canine operations, and rescue efforts throughout his career. Raynon Schneider has done an outstanding job reorganizing the records department, helping lead the successful completion of the Michigan Law Enforcement accreditation process. Her strong organizational skills have also been instrumental in the reorganization of the property rooms. Please join the Saginaw Police Department this May. It's their annual awards and memorial service to celebrate these individuals and learn more about their exceptional accomplishments. And finally, we do have a presentation this evening. I mentioned before that our strategic planning session was going to be a continuation of last year with some of the points that were indicated for follow-up by Nancy Oley, our consultant. The medical diamond update, though, took shape, and it was something that there was a lot of interest in, so we wanted to push these presentations to council meetings. So this evening, we have a presentation from OMB Director Yolanda Bland about the city's budget and how it aligns with our strategic planning goals. She's going to walk us through that and how the departmental key performance indicators align with those goals. So Yolanda, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, and City Manager Morales, and everyone who's here. Tonight, I'm going to be discussing the Saginaw City strategic goals and the budget and how it aligns. Okay. So in August, Nancy Old presented the 2025 strategic plan to City Council and the community. As part of the strategic plan, there were next steps outlined for the City Council and City Administration. This presentation is to address one of those action items. This presentation will provide to you a review of the strategic goals as it relates to the current year's budget, as well as what will be added to the fiscal year 27 budget. Tonight's presentation is a high-level view as it relates to the budget. Each of these goals that will be discussed and will be further expounded upon by the departments that are directly responsible for these strategic goals and priorities. So number 5 action item in your strategic plan was city manager and or fiscal services director, OMB director, to assign line items to goals, action plans for tracking in the budget. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so City of Saginaw's 27 budget. Just wanted to take a moment to let you know that OMB is presently working on the 27 budget. So that's something that's ongoing. The budget process actually begins in November with the distribution to the departments of the capital improvement plan and the personnel distribution reports. This process continues through the last Monday in April, which in 26 will be April 27th. This deadline is based on the City of Saginaw City Charter, wherein a balanced budget must be presented to the elected officials by the last Monday of April. Again, OMB is currently working diligently on the budget, so it's an ongoing process at this point in time. So let's talk about the City of Saginaw strategic goals. So we have to take one step back to see if this remote works for me. There we go. What the 2017 strategic goals were. Throughout this presentation, there will be a review of the 2017 strategic goals and what the intents were at that time. How the current year's budget aligns with these goals, and what the approved City Council 2025 strategic goals are. In 2017, the 5 strategic goals were economic development of the urban core, neighborhood revitalization, city beautification, arts, culture, recreation, police and fire, and utilities and infrastructure. So what are the 25 goals? Well, economic development of the urban core, public safety and fire, arts, culture, and recreation, neighborhood revitalization, utilities, and infrastructure. So you can see there's no difference from the 2017 goals to the 25 goals. The change is in the priorities that are set for each of them from 2017 to 2025. And we'll go more in depth in the difference between 2017 goals and the 25 strategic goals in a few slides. Okay, during the fiscal year 26 approved budget development process, the Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award had an annual requirement of to receive this award is that we had to demonstrate that the City of Saginaw is measuring performance. This is accomplished through our key performance indicators that all the department heads love. As well as that identifying how much money is actually allocated towards these strategic goals. OMB lists the city's strategic goals as well as the budgetary allocations that are associated with these goals in the budget document under budget overview. So that's the section I keep telling everyone that you need to review when you really want to get the quick and dirty of it. Go to the budget overview, it's listed there. We also report out on how each department performs in these goals through our accountability and performance report in the approved document. And if you have a chance, on page 492 of the approved document, you'll find that accountability report. So the City Council 2025 strategic goals, the total amount actually directly allocated towards these strategic goals equated to $106.59 million. That's 52% of your total citywide budget of $203.77 million for 26. Okay, the remaining 48% of the budget indirectly supports all of your strategic goals. So you have 52% and the remaining amount actually supports the goal, all the goals. And at this point, you may be wondering, how are these goals being measured and how are funds allocated to them, right? Yep. If I can switch the slide. Key performance indicators. The measurement is conducted through the city's key performance indicators. Yes, the city measures performance and assesses these indicators towards the city council's approved strategic goals. OMB works in collaboration with the departments to develop these indicators, and ultimately these indicators assist in measuring performance as needed by the department. So if you turn to page 492 of the approved budget and you flip 2 pages in, what you'll see is our measurements. So key performance indicators are measured annually, and we currently have 92 key performance indicators that are tracked, of which 49 indicators are directly associated with the city's strategic goals. The remaining 43 indicators are indirectly associated with these city goals or initiatives. And as you can see, the 3 remaining Areas that are being tracked are city services, revenue generating, and other services. What will be realized is collectively, indirect and directly, that the entire budget supports City Council's strategic plan and initiatives. And on the next part of the discussion, I'm going to outline these priorities of each of the goals and the budgetary impact of the alignment and what to anticipate for fiscal year 27. Okay, starting with strategic goal number 1, economic development of the urban core. So there's 2 priority areas that are listed. Lori Brown, our finance director, have already discussed property taxes. So what I'm going to be looking at is supporting community assets. Currently, we have 6 key performance indicators that are directly related to this goal. And for 27, we're going to be adding 2 more indicators to the goal. In fiscal year 26, approximately $21.76 million of the citywide budget was directly designated towards strategic goals. So what makes up that total allocation? Okay, so we have a contract with Saginaw Future, who is the economic development arm of the city. We have the Downtown Development Authority Fund, whose aim is to bolster economic activity and development within the DDA district. We have the Saginaw Economic Development Corporation, whose aim is to develop economic enterprise and programs for the benefits of moderate to low-income individuals. And recently, we added the state of Michigan's Downtown Saginaw Medical Diamond. And the budget is funded by the state of Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Development. And as you may already know, this is a grant for the development of the medical facility, and that will improve health outcomes for the city of Saginaw. So you may be wondering what key performance indicators are associated with this. And I'm going to give you a few. I'm not going to give you them all because we have a ton of them. But for this one, a review and update of the city's zoning ordinance is an example of one. We initiate actions, steps identified in the master plan, and we obligated 75% of the total funds from HUD for business loans through the SCDC. So those are examples of KPIs that we track for the year. Did I miss one? Somehow it was out of order, but OMB is currently working on the fiscal year 27 budget, and we continue to allocate those funds towards economic development. So what's new for 27 are 2 new KPIs. Okay. I'm having technical difficulty, sorry. Okay. So the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority Fund has been added to this list of economic development. And one of the action items that was identified in your plan was to secure a viable Brownfield redevelopment plan, providing a $200,000 revolving loan within 18 to 24 months. The fiscal year 27 budget will include in the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority Fund an allocation of a minimum of $200,000 from the revolving fund. The KPIs that will be utilized to measure this will be the amount of loans issued, because that's one thing that you wanted in your action item, as well as the number of plans secured. The second strategic goal was public safety and fire. And there was about 4 priority areas listed underneath that. Increase recruitment of efforts and applicant numbers, sponsor one of the Saginaw public school students in the high school fire academy during the year, increase fire prevention, outreach 5% year over year, and reduce crime by 10% per year through proactive policing. In fiscal year 26, we have 10 KPIs that are directly related to this, and we'll be adding 1 KPI for 27. So in fiscal year 26, approximately $31.77 million of the citywide budget was directly designated towards this. So what makes up that part of the budget? Budgetary allocations for the strategic goal is for all of the police and fire, so that would be the general fund, public safety millage fund, and other grant funds. And it should be pointed out, in 2017, police and fire strategic goal was the fourth strategic goal and is now the second goal for 25. Some of the KPIs that are already being tracked include decrease the number of Part 1 crimes by 5%, to obtain the case closure rate of Part 1 crimes committed by 70% or greater, increase fire and life safety public presentation by 5%, and then confine structure fires to the room of fire origin. In 2027, the City Council budget will continue to designate funds towards this strategic goal. One of the priorities outlined in your strategic plan was for the fire department to sponsor one Saginaw Public School student in the high school fire academy. The budget continues to allocate funding for the high school fire academy of $1,000. Another priority of the strategic plan under the goal for public safety and fire is to increase fire prevention outreach by 5% year over year. The budget continues to utilize the deputy fire marshal and the community engagement coordinator in the effort to communicate the department's message of fire prevention. For community public safety, in my discussions with the department, we believe that the current key performance indicators addresses the priority and City Council action item in 2025 strategic plan. For the community public safety fire, and speaking with the chief, we added one KPI, which is to increase recruitment efforts from high school fire academy. Moving on to strategic goal number 3, arts, culture, and recreation. First priority is walkability, which looks to improve the pedestrian access along Washington Avenue corridor from the Dow to the zoo within 5 years. The second priority is Central Park District to have the following action items. Annually allocate $100,000 for capital investments, plan recreational activities, partnership with the county parks businesses and nonprofits, as well as park adoptions. For 2026, there are no KPIs that are listed for this. However, we are working on creating KPIs for it. So, in fiscal year 26, approximately $425,000 of the citywide budget was directly designated towards the strategic goals. So budgetary allocation for the strategic goals is associated with the Japanese Tea House, Anderson Enrichment Center, Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission, the Boat Launch, and Celebration Park. And it should be noted, in 2017, Arts, Culture, and Recreation was City Council's number 3 strategic goal, so it remains the same goal for you. And fiscal year 27, the city budget will continue to designate funds towards the strategic goal, but something's been added that's new. New with the fiscal year 27 budget is the addition of the Parks and Recreation Division within the general fund. Funds will be allocated for the family play dates in parks and $100,000 for capital investments. So again, currently, we have not established key performance indicators for this goal. However, I have been looking at it, reviewing it, researching it, and I have a couple items that we could be looking at for this. So we should probably be considering KPIs that look at visitor satisfaction, which would measure customer satisfaction through survey or feedback to identify areas of improvement. Attendance numbers, which will monitor total audience size and growth trends to assess the effectiveness of marketing and programming. And social media engagement, which analyzes social media sentiments and follower growth to understand audience preferences and engagement levels. These type of KPIs will provide valuable insight into the performance of arts, culture, and recreation initiatives. It will help the city to make informed decisions and optimize our strategy for growth and success. Strategic goal number 4 is neighborhood revitalization. There's 2 priorities that are listed for 25, is housing quality and development, as well as affordable housing. For fiscal year 26, we have 9 KPIs that are being directly tracked. And for 27, we will be adding 3 KPIs for neighborhood revitalization. In fiscal year 26, approximately $7.32 million of the citywide budget was designated towards the strategic goal. Currently, the budgetary allocation would include the Department of Neighborhood Services and Inspections, the Inspections and Parking Operation Division, Rubbish Collection Fund, the Divisions of Environmental Improvement, Brush Collection, Recycling, and Yard Waste, and Community Development Block Grant, which would include CDBG itself, residential loans, and home program. It's not liking me. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. Some of the key performance indicators that are already being tracked, and it should be indicated that the type of indicators that we are tracking really looks at more designed towards the cleanup of the city, which is very different than your 25 strategic goal. So some of them include remove debris from residential property, percent of times parks and boulevards are cut, percent of time that your convenience stations are open, and percent of monthly brush collections completed. So again, very different than what your 25 priority is. In 2017, neighborhood revitalization and city beautification was City Council's number 2 strategic goal. In 2025, City Council approved strategic goal of neighborhood revitalization. Emphasis has been placed on housing quality and development and city collaboration on housing. So working with Department of Neighborhood Services, we were looking at KPIs that would look at that. So to continue initiative action steps for the housing and economic development plan, increase the number of developer meetings annually, as well as increase the number of rental inspections completed each year. There we go. For fiscal year 27, the city will continue to allocate funds towards the Department of Neighborhood Services and Inspections. Inspection division will be added, as well as planning and zoning division, because we're talking about housing and economic development plan. Since the emphasis has been placed on housing quality and development, as seen in the KPIs, the department will place more emphasis on completing action items of the housing and economic development study, rentals, and meeting with interested parties as it relates to housing. This would satisfy the housing development component, since housing is actually a 2-prong approach, meaning new housing and housing rehabilitation. The community development block grant funds will continue to be utilized with the housing rehab and maintenance aspect. We're almost there, if this cooperates with me. So number 5 strategic goal is utilities and infrastructure. This goal currently has 5 priority areas. This discussion will only look at a few of them. More discussion will happen with the department heads. So when Phil talks about his area, this is something that he'll be talking about. So the priorities pertain to capital needs, the local roads, countywide collaboration, there we go, building in the city. And so for fiscal year 26, there are 24 KPIs that are related to this strategic goal. In fiscal year 27, we've already added an additional KPI. Oops. Did I just turn it off? There we go. Thank you. Let me see here. Go back one. Okay, we're almost there. Bear with me. So in fiscal year 26, approximately $45.3 million of the citywide budget was directly designated towards this strategic goal. In 2017, the strategic goal focus was related to rehabilitation and maintenance of the treatment facilities. So that's the biggest difference. And as well as replacement of the lead and copper galvanizing lines. So the divisions of, some of the divisions of water and sewer looks at it directly, and that's what we're accounting for in the 26 allocation. There we go. Some of the KPIs that we're already tracking include lead and water service line replacement with copper, lead galvanizing water extensions to meet all the primary and secondary drinking water standards, and the number of national pollutant discharge. And these are just a few that we're tracking. Okay. In fiscal year 27, the citywide budget will continue to designate funds towards this strategic goal through water and sewer operations. However, we're also incorporating funds towards major and local streets. Okay, there we go. So to wrap up, I know this has been a little bit of a long presentation. It's not exciting either, I know that too. Wanted to address just a few of the priorities of the category. So the priorities of capital needs, the department continues to review their capital needs, and it will be reflected in your 27 budget. And the review of local roads, now that's where you're having your new KPI. So we have established a new KPI in streets that measures square yardage of concrete road repairs completed. So that's the new KPI. Funds are allocated in the 27 budget for the approved 2025 local road millage, and this is estimated at approximately $1.2 million. And I'm sure there's going to be more information forthcoming from the department as it relates to these funds. Also, during 2025, the state of Michigan passed legislation that gave local road agencies a large increase in the annual road allocation. So essentially, the legislators removed the sales tax from gas and replaced it with an increase to the state gas tax. So that one's kind of a little bit of different. There's a lot more money that will be coming to the fund. So this is just to name a few of the priorities in that area. And again, the department may go over more once they have their presentation. So if I can go to the next slide. Okay, so this concludes my presentation, and hopefully it provides you with more information on how the strategic goals of the city and the budget align. Although the presentation discussed the direct impact of the funds allocated to each goal and how it's measured, it should be mentioned that whether directly or indirectly, the entire $203.77 million citywide budget supports and will continue to support City Council's approved strategic goals and initiatives. So thank you, and at this time, I'm open for any of your questions.
Do you have any questions? Yes, Councilwoman.
What, doesn't the DDA have its own budget?
It has its own fund, yes.
Okay, so is that also included in the, when we talk about of the city's budget, are we included?
Yes, all funds of the city must be reported in the city's budget, okay. Yes.
And I guess my other question would be how, what kind of format would we like to have in this conversation about like recommending some KPIs? I saw some open-ended questions about some of the options under some of the categories. What's the format that we should have that conversation?
Well, of course, I would say you need to first get in contact with the city manager's office, and then you would sit down with OMB and we could talk about the type of KPIs you would like to add.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And one of the key points with those indicators is that Yolanda's team gets with the department to make sure it is something that they could track. So
Mhm.
if there's data that they can track related to that KPI.
Yes.
Or if they have information available. So that's one of the key points they look at.
Yes.
Any other questions? Yes, Council.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a boring. There's a lot, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Here. And so thank you for that very detailed presentation, but I'm gonna swing into the number 2 public safety one, because you know me.
Okay. Mhm.
And I know last year we had met with you and the city manager, we talked about our 7.5 millage that pays for public safety.
Mhm.
And then we had, because that does pay for benefits, some of the healthcare costs, there was a 32% increase in healthcare costs that did eat up a lot of the increase because of the home values that went up. So what does that look like for this year? Because I'm always gonna ask the question, you know, I know we have 64 sworn officers, how do we get to 66? And then we've also talked about, run some numbers too, like even on Fire Station 3 at one time, and I don't, it's like, how do we get there?
Okay, so what I can tell you, because, you know, the budget is nowhere near being completed.
Yeah.
We're working through the numbers.
Okay.
And, I mean, oftentimes it's very challenging
Yeah.
to balance the general fund budget and making sure that everything's in it. So I can't tell you at this point in time, especially with preliminary numbers, what that could even look like.
Yeah, and you detailed that out for me last year very well. You kind of brought me into the OMB Class 101.
Yeah.
So, all right, thank you.
Any other questions? Not down here.
Thank you. Also, kind of a similar question as the DDA on, you mentioned the Brownfield Revolving Loan Fund.
Mhm.
Was that essentially I don't want to say pre-existing funds, but was that fund eminently from captured tax?
Well, we didn't have a revolving loan fund until after you approved an allocation from ARPA over to the revolving loan. So there was $1 million that was allocated over to your Brownfield Redevelopment Authority Fund. We've had, not until recently, we've had a lot of activities in the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority Fund that we could start really capturing for the revolving loan.
Maturing, right? Because it takes.
Well, normally the plans are like 35-year plans, and we normally don't capture until after the first 5 years. And then there's a lot that goes into it, but we're starting to actually add to our Brownfield Redevelopment Authority Fund. However, we also, based on your directive at the strategic plan and your number one priority being economic development, one of your initiatives was to actually allocate $200,000 annually from the revolving loan fund for a solid development plan. So the budget builds that in for 27. What we're hoping is, as you know, we use the money, that we're replenishing the money and growing the fund at the same time.
So there was, because I noticed there was $100,000 in essentially the plan for parks capital investment, but there just hasn't been allocated. There's no source of that funding.
So that is under arts and recreation, arts, culture, and recreation, where your directive was to add $100,000 annually for capital needs. So what we did this year is we actually created a division called Parks and Recs, where we're not only adding the play dates in the park that's Cassie has been helping to develop, or has developed, but we're also putting $100,000 in that division for capital investments. So that's two separate. So Brownfield Redevelopment Authority is one fund, and then the capital needs for Parks and Recs in the general fund.
Okay. But that's essentially to be allocated.
It's, right now it's allocated. When you prove it in May, you've allocated those funds. So we're just following your directive up front by putting it in there.
I understand. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'd like to thank you, Ms. Bland. A lot of time, knowledge is power. And when we talk about being transparent, I really do believe that we are truly transparent from this table. It may not seem like it to some, but we are transparent. We're telling you step by step. And if you don't understand, please go back and watch the video. Well, not the video, but the Facebook page. Because I actually go back and look at our meetings over and over. Because once you get it embedded in your head, it comes easy to talk about it. Any other questions? Mr. Manager?
That concludes the management update.
What did you say? Oh. Well, you know what? You can hardly ever hear him. Okay. Madam Clerk.
On to the consent agenda.
The agenda has been available at City Hall and on the city webpage.
Mayor, I think you had general questions for the manager.
General questions for the manager. Yes, Councilwoman.
Thank you. Tim, I remember it was either at our, I believe it was a January meeting, it could have been December, but I remember I specifically asked a question about Ojibwe, and you had said, oh, at the next meeting we would be getting an update. I don't think we received that specific update. Do you remember what I'm mentioning, and what is the content that is yet to come?
Yep, we do have a list of projects that we would bring back. We're just waiting for it. We're gonna have a meeting with the work group first, and then we'll bring those projects back to council. I think that'll probably be the best way to do it, is to have that internal meeting first.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Councilman.
Thanks, Mayor. Tim, you were talking that you met with some of our legislators, and one of the things was water and sewer. And so going back to a conversation that we had before, we had as a city, we were taking a look at our sewer lines that come from the west side or the east side, because everything gets pumped to the station on the east side. Would any of that include like the redundant line that we've talked about before? So I know we talked about it with Mike, our director, Mike Green, before, but it'd be nice if they could allocate some money for that pipe.
Well, there's two different projects. There's redundant water line, and then there's the wastewater.
Yep.
River crossing.
Right.
So there's only one river crossing that's on the long-term project list.
Is that still?
I'd ask Ken to.
Okay.
Yes, Councilman, just reiterate.
You come on in. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm just kind of like wondering what the long-term plan that we're talking about here too. So.
The state does require you to have redundancy for your drinking water, all potable water.
Okay.
Wastewater, there is no requirements for redundancy. We have had that line looked at. It is fairly old, but it's in excellent shape.
Yeah.
So,
okay, good.
So other than that, so we're not required to have a second line coming across the river.
Yeah, because the first time I heard that, I was kind of like, that was my first thing, but
it is a scary thought.
If it's
yeah.
healthy.
Yep, but it is in great shape. They expect another 40 to 50 year service out of it.
Okay.
Long-term plan would be prudent at some point.
Yeah, the long-term plan had talked about some a pipe down by Johnson Bridge.
Yes.
Johnson Bridge, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
we looked at that before.
Okay, good, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Just curious.
Yep.
I think we have submitted those projects for funding and
Nice,
controversy.
okay, thank you, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank them for turning the heat on too.
Yes.
Thank them so much for turning their heat on.
You're gonna have to hug
Madam
me.
Clerk.
On to the consent agenda.
Now I can do it. Thank you. The agenda has been available at City Hall and on the city webpage. I need a motion to approve the agenda, leaving room for exceptions.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved in support. Do we have any exceptions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
On to board, commission, and committee reports.
Do we have anyone that would like to speak on any meeting that's related to the city that they attended? Nobody. Madam Clerk,
On to appointment of board, commission, and committee members.
I need a motion to approve 1 through 4, leaving room for exception.
So moved.
It's been moved in support. Now, is there any exceptions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
On to ordinance adoption, we have one on the agenda. It's to amend Chapter 14, Finance and Purchasing of Title I, Administrative Code by amending Section 14.34, Bids and Bonds of Purchasing, Contracting, and Selling Procedure of the City of Saginaw Code of Ordinances O-204.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Madam Clerk.
On to resolutions. Our first is amending the Brownfield Plan for the City of Saginaw to include the former Walgreens redevelopment project located at 409 West Genesee Avenue.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Yes.
I have a couple questions about this particular property. Is this, do we know what the sale price was on this property to its current owner? Do we know the city's value of the property?
It was a private transaction.
It was private.
Okay, so okay. So we just don't have any information on the sale? I assume the answer is no, okay. I just don't understand if this particular project, under the definition of brownfield, means an underutilized property. If the sale was for, a substantial sum of money, or if it was bidded on, I do not know though. Okay.
So it can also be a contaminated property, so there were contamination on the property. So the brownfield would, it doesn't have to be blighted, it also can be a facility under the EPA for contamination.
But it's going from a gas station to another gas station, is that correct?
It's going from a Walgreens that's been vacant for multiple years to a gas station.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to become another property with underground storage tanks and?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time when a gas station is the reason for a contamination, it's because it was not cleaned up properly once it's been decommissioned.
Mhm.
So they leave the storage tanks underground and then proceed to just move on and leave that's obviously not the case. This developer is very focused on Saginaw. I mean, they're planning on being there for a while. I don't see the underground storage tanks being an issue moving forward.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about the environmental remediative actions to be taken?
So I believe it's just from previous oil and other contaminants. The brownfield plan, that was included in their packet, or?
We don't see, did it come through the VRA?
Yeah.
We
So,
don't see what they see.
okay, so there was potential groundwater contamination, and that was just one of them. We'd be happy to explain it more later on too, to show you some of the brownfield plan. But it is pretty much cleaning up the soil, making sure that there's no groundwater contamination.
I appreciate that.
Any other questions? I'm sorry. were you
It is
done?
available online, is it not, Grace? And in the clerk's office, correct.
I have never seen a brownfield plan attached to the meeting minutes online of the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. That may have changed, but.
Either way,
The hard copy is available in the clerk's office for public inspection, but it's not attached as part of the council packet.
Yes. I would like to see those in the future, just for, I've expressed that before, for brownfield specifically, because we're approving a plan coming through another committee. And those are things that I like to look at, much like contracts, to understand what we're voting on. I really appreciate the explanation. And yes, I'm done with my questions, thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Madam Clerk.
Our second resolution is approving MDOT cost agreement 25-5642 for the reconstruction of Perkins Street from Genesee Avenue to 17th Street.
I need a motion to adopt.
Support.
Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
On to miscellaneous business, we do have one item on the agenda there. It's the consideration of a FOIA appeal filed by Joseph Martouche.
I need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to uphold the response associated with Joseph Martouche FOIA request.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there anything else that we need to cover under miscellaneous? I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay.